another episode of Mimi's Musings podcast. I'm your host, Gungo Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me on another Wednesday for another amazing episode. Today, I had forgotten that I was supposed to record because it has been a while since I recorded something, right? Because I remember the last time, I don't know if it's last week but one of those episodes I told you that I was going to be recording and putting them up so that I can do at least until mid-June. That was not possible because of course, some issues I had, but I still had some 2 weeks where I was not recording anything. I had them ready. They were already on YouTube. I was just waiting for the day to come when they can go live. So for those 2 weeks, I did not record. I did not watch something just for recording and for YouTube. And so I became too comfortable actually. So today is a Monday, like the 8th. Actually, we're already on the 9th because it's past midnight. And I was just in my house, sitting, chilling. I've eaten dinner and I'm like, okay, let me watch something fun. And then it gets to midnight and I'm like, yo, I do not have a show for this Wednesday. And it's Kenyan day, like Kenyan movie day. And the Kenyan movies on Netflix are done. Like the ones I want to watch are done. And so I've been lining up movies on YouTube, ones that I want to check out to see if they're worth watching. So I go to them and I check the comments to see if it's worth watching and stuff like that, because I don't want to watch cliched movies. By cliche, I mean like a lot of Kenyan movies are about sadness and gangs and what. I've already done Nairobi Half-Life. I'm not interested in doing another gang movie. And there's also that one from Kurugenzi, Film Production. So I'm just like, I do not want to do any other gang related movie review. So I've been checking them out, and I had one that I was supposed to watch for today, but I don't know what happened this weekend, because it was the whole of last week I was telling myself I have to watch and record at least, then editing, even if I edit today, Monday now, it will have been okay. But yeah, I completely forgot about it. And by midnight, that's when I'm like, okay, I do not have a movie to watch, and I can't watch the 1 hour and a half, movie, so that I had already put on the line to be watched for this episode. So I was like, okay, what do I do? So I went on YouTube and I typed Kenyan short movies and I found one. That is what I've watched, and that's what I'm going to be giving a review of. It's a 30-minute movie, so that was very, very efficient, because I was looking for one that was at least entertaining or educative or something like that, and I found this one. So I found that to be a very, very good thing, and I'm super proud of myself, because I was like, if I don't get one, I'll just skip this week. Honestly, if I wouldn't have found a movie, I wouldn't have put up something this week. It would have just gone like that. So I'm glad that I found this one, and that's what I'm going to be giving a review of. Okay, so on today's episode, I'm going to be giving a review of the Kenyan short film called Kutu, A Fight Against Teen Pregnancies in Kenya. That's the whole thing. So if you want to look for it on YouTube, type that and you're going to find it. Okay, Kutu is a 2021 short Kenyan film written by Peter Gitau, directed by Peter Gitau, and produced by Peter Gitau. The cast members include Malik Lemuel, he plays Dagi; Foy Wambui, she plays Joyce; Catherine Kamau, aka Kate Actress, plays Ruth, that is Dagi's mom; Peterson Gadhambo plays Uncle Kama, that is Dagi's uncle; Faith Kibati, or is it Kibathi? I'm so sorry, I don't know how to say that name. She plays Joyce's mom. John Degwa plays Jonte, that is Dagi's cousin. Rose Mbaire plays Dolly. Rose Mbaire is the same lady who played on, what was that movie called? Talia, you remember? Yeah, that same actress, amongst other cast members. Now, if you love spoilers like me, go to YouTube, watch the movie Kutu, A Fight Against Teen Pregnancies in Kenya, then come back here and tell me if you agree with me or not, because this is official spoiler alert. This is a very, very short movie. As I said, it's like 30 minutes and it's done. It follows this young boy called Dagi. So we start with Dagi in a room, start with his mom, and he's remembering something. So there's this issue that has arisen, and so he's there, start with his mom, and then he does some flashbacks in a way of telling what happened to his mom. Dagi is a 13-year-old boy. He's just finished his class 8 exams, and him and Joyce are coming from school. So it's their last day of the exams. They're walking home. And then this guy, Jonte, that is Dagi's cousin, he's a border guy. And so he stops them on the way. And the way he's talking is so crass, considering that, Joyce is a teenager, like a minor, because she's also 13, I'm assuming, because they've just finished the exams together. So he's like, what did I tell you? If before you sample anybody, you have to let me sample them fast. And I'm like, this is a kid. And so, of course, Joyce is uncomfortable and goes like, Dagi, I'm leaving. If you're not going with me, I'm leaving. So she walks off. And then Dagi is like, okay, just stop it. I need to go with her, blah, blah, blah. And he walks off, goes to her. They talk about the results when they get them and how happy they're going to be and they're going to pass, blah, blah, blah. And they go different ways. He goes home and his mom is there and ameanika mahindi nje, so she asks him to help her get them back into the house. So he doesn't want it, he's being rude, blah blah blah, but he helps. And then his uncle comes over and he talks to Mama Dagi, like that is Ruth, and he goes like, we need to organize his circumcision now because he's becoming a man, and he's supposed to go to high school, so we have to think about his circumcision. And then you go like, okay, so the mom is like, okay, so next, the circumcision has already happened. Dagi is in the culture where they come from, because Mama Dagi's accent was very thick, like Kikuyu accent. So I'm assuming that is their culture. And in their culture, once a boy is circumcised, he does not stay in the same house with his mom. And so he had a separate place where he was sleeping and stuff. The next scene is the uncle talking to the mom. They're outside the house, and the mom is worried about Dagi because they're these friends. Jonte is one of them, and they're going to where Dagi sleeps. So they're walking towards the house, and there's this girl who has a hoodie and she's covered. But the uncle sees this and he smiles. And so Mama Dagi is worried, like, who are these people? And the uncle goes like, those are his friends. So now he's a man, he needs friends who are going to talk to him and encourage him and stuff. So Mama Dagi goes like, just as long as they do not spoil my kid for me. Then, of course, we go between like the present and the past. So like what happened, Dagi is remembering, and then they switch back to the present where the mom is like, and then what happened? Are you going to continue with your story? And she's interjecting, and oh my god, Kate actress is very funny because everything she was saying, I felt like laughing. It was sad because I get it from a point of a mom, but then it was just like funny. So he continues the story. So while he was healing that day, when those guys came to the house, that lady they brought was somebody like that was Dolly. And Dolly is older. I think she is Jonte's age. They tell Dagi that they've brought him a present. So he was supposed to sleep with this girl who is older than him. She's obviously over 18, because if she's Jonte's age, she's way older. And this is a 14-year-old boy. Okay, so I think by this time he's 14 because they're supposed to be joining high school. He's already bought the uniform and everything. So he's 14 years old, and they have brought this older woman to come and sleep with Dagi as a way to, welcome him into manhood, which is technically statutory rape if he accepted it. Like if he was like, okay, fine, I'm going to do it because you asked. But if he does not give the consent, then it's just rape. It does not matter that it's a woman doing it to a man. That is still rape. And I was like, why would Jonte do that? And so, like, even because we pan back to the mom in the present, and she goes like, why would Jonte do that? Like, why are you even healed? And so she asked, like, what is she doing here? Because now Joyce is there. And he goes like, let me finish the story. So after that happened, he says nothing happened. That is Dagi. He says nothing happened between him and the lady, because even while Jonte and his friends were leaving, the lady asked for P2. I think he was given either the P2, she was given either the P2 money. I don't remember that little part. But then she starts undressing in front of him, and I'm like, this is rape, this is rape, this is rape. You cannot do that in front of a kid. Anyway, so after that happened, there's this time the results come, because after the mom asked, like, so how, what is she doing here? So he goes like, okay, so you remember the time the results came? Yes. So he got the results. He had performed very well. He was going to an national school, and he brought the results to the mom. The mom was so happy. She gave him some money. I think it was 1,000 note or something, to just go and celebrate with his friends. So he leaves and he goes outside, and while he's walking around, Jonte is riding his motorbike, and he is carrying Joyce. So Joyce stops, and so they stop the motorbike, and he starts, of course, Jonte starts, just talking trash again towards Dagi. Nothing he ever said was constructive. And so Joyce alights from the motorbike, and she starts walking with him, and they are happy because they have performed well, blah blah blah. So they are walking. I don't know where they were going, but then they get to a place where Dagi is the one who suggests that they take a shortcut in a bush. Wow. And so they do. They use the shortcut, but then they get to a place. There's something Jonte had said to Dagi, like, uliniangusha, and uko hapa sijui, you feel brave, blah blah blah, like that thing that he was very insensitive when he was talking. So of course Joyce asked, like, why was Jonte saying this and this? Dagi tells her, and I don't know why that him telling her made her want to do it with him, because yeah, they ended up doing the hanky panky in the bush. My daughter, I mean, why? And so they get back up, they're getting dressed, they didn't use protection, they didn't even know what they were doing really. And so he takes these pills from his pocket, and he goes like, I was given this, so I think you should take them and I should take them. And I'm like, oh, poor baby. Like, even the girl wanted to take the P2, and he goes like, I was given by somebody. So she gets upset, like, which woman were you sleeping with? Because you're telling me that you're a virgin just to get me to sleep with you, and now you're telling me that she gave you some pills. And then she walks off. I'm like, okay, one, I will not advocate for her to take the pills because she does not know what they are going to do. Two, I'm also like, should she have taken them? Because now she would have prevented that pregnancy or what? Yeah, I'm sure foreshadowing, but yeah. So now, after a while, because she wasn't talking to him, and he was just distraught, asking Jonte what happened. He does not know what happened. And Jonte, being the person who never gives good advice, he goes like, oh, so you slept with her in a bush, and you think that that was her first time? Of course it wasn't her first time. Girls do these things way earlier than boys do, and they do it more. And I'm like, what the? I don't know why that character was even in that story. And I know what they were doing. I know the educational point of this story. But I was just like, I hate that guy so much. So yeah, he's worried. But one day he's in the house, because when Jonte was leaving, he was like, next time use protection. So he's like, protection, what's a condom? So he gets a condom and is in his little house, and he's trying to see how you use it, tearing it up, removing it from the packet, looking at it, putting it on his finger, and just stretching it out to see what's happening. And then there's a knock on the door, and he thinks it's the mom. He tries to hide it. I wish he had put it under his pillow, but he didn't do that. He threw it in the garbage, which was right next to his bed. And so he opens the door, and it's Joyce. So Joyce comes, she's nervous. You can tell that she has something to say. She sits down and she wants to say something, but she's not talking about it just yet, until Dagi's mom starts calling him from the outside, and she's like, come and try out the uniform and come so that you can see if it fits you. Your uncle and I want to see. And so she goes like, oh, you can just change, or what? Are you afraid for me to see you naked or something? And so he changes, and then the girl goes, now she's emotional, and she's asking him like, oh, so your life is continuing, you're going to a national school, blah blah blah. And then she just blurts it out, I'm pregnant. you got me pregnant. So he's like, no, that cannot be. I do not understand. That's not me who got you pregnant, blah, blah, blah. And he's just panicking. Then the mom comes in, is like, what's happening? She sees the condoms in the bin and she assumes that's what they've been doing. And she goes like, oh, okay, follow me, both of you. So they go to their house, and that's where we started the movie, with them sat there with him trying to tell the story. And so he finishes the story with, yeah, that happened. And now she's pregnant. The girl, I think her phone rings and it's the dad saying that he's on his way. So the parents arrive. And when they do, Dagi's mom is very offended because of the man that is standing there. He's in a police uniform. And she goes like, get out of my house. What are you doing here? Blah, blah, blah. And at that moment, I'm like, oh my God, these kids, these poor, poor kids. Because I was like, that, because we were not introduced to Dagi's dad. And I'm like, that is Dagi's dad. And he's there as Joyce's dad. So these kids are siblings who got pregnant, who already slept together. And oh my God. And so the uncle is like, what is happening? Joyce's mom was also there. And she goes like, it seems like you two know each other. What's happening? Can you tell us about that? And so Dagi's mom turns to Dagi and she goes like, Dagi, this is your dad. And the movie ends there. And I was like, well, I knew it, but yo, what? This is why if you have step siblings, you should let them know. If you're a parent and you know you're a man, you know you're charitably spreading your seed all over the world, can you make sure that these children know each other? Because this is what happens when you do that and you do not introduce them. Like, do you know how afraid I am of dating in Kenya? Because what if I date my uncle? What if I date my brother? What if I date my cousin? What if because I do not know the man who's hired me. I do not know him personally. I do not know his family. So, like, dating in Kenya for me is just like, I remember telling my grandmother, I think at this point, to date either an Indian or a Mzungu or something, just somebody from outside of Kenya. Because, I can't date Kenyans. Because it might be my brother, my cousin, my uncle. And then, so this happened to these kids. And they just were shocked because what? Now, okay, she's already 2 months pregnant, so I don't know. Is that still safe for an abortion? And I know that's a very sensitive topic, but that would be the right course of action in this situation. Honestly, like I'm pro-life and I can also be pro-choice, but I always lean to pro-life depending on the situation. But in this instance, I'm pro-choice, man. I'm pro-choice because ain't no way I'm bringing into life my brother's kid. At 14, she even said, I'm not ready to be a mom. And so, yeah, it was a nice short film. Kate actress was funny as always. There's this line that she said, like, ati uko na kichwa kubwa ya kubeba ulimi. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not saying exactly what she said, but that's the thing that she said. Like, kichwa kubwa ya kubeba ulimi. And I'm like, okay. I just burst out laughing because that's an insult. And again, from a Kenyan mom, an African mom, it's something that you should expect. But I laughed. I was like, what? What did you just say? It is a good insult though. But this movie is an educational movie. It talks about teenage pregnancies and how easily it can happen. Because there's this point actually where Dagi shouted at his mom because he was like, you are telling me all these things and you never taught me how to go about these things. Which I agree. Most African moms, most Kenyan moms, they do not talk to their teenagers about sex or anything to do with sex. They just assume that the world is going to teach you, but this is the world teaching him because he was getting his cues from Jonte. And it's just wrong. Like that, if she wasn't, I felt like the mom was not angry enough at Jonte for him introducing Dolly to her son. I could have cut somebody up. My child is 14 years old and you brought a grown-ass woman to sleep with my child. It does not matter that he's a boy. The same reaction I would have if you had brought a grown-ass man to sleep with my 14-year-old daughter is the same one I'll have for you to bring a grown-ass woman to sleep with my 14-year-old boy, my 14-year-old son. I mean, what don't people understand? I was pissed off. on their behalf, all of them. And I think Uncle Kama is Jonte's dad. He was also taking this issue very lightly. And I do not understand why these people are joking around with this thing, because I would have been screaming. It was just crazy for them to take it so lightly. But yeah, Uncle Kama, I've seen him like in Nairobi Half Life, but also I've seen him in some things where he was trying to be funny. He's a good actor. And Faith Kibati or Kibati, oh my god, I don't know, I'm butchering that name, I'm sorry. She's in Single Kiasi. Like, these people, I've seen them in a couple of movies. And of course, Malik Lemuel Dagi, he was in Machachari. You remember him? These guys have grown up so much. Like, you look at them doing all these grownish TV shows and movies, and you're like, oh my god, I remember them when they were so young, dancing in Machachari and stuff. But yeah, it's a good thing, because at least they're employed. With the Kenyan ways nowadays, you just have to be proud that at least somebody's working and they're earning. So yeah, there's that. But anyway, the movie was good. It was a short one. I think the writer wrote a simple script that made sense, that was educational. It was supposed to educate people, as I said, about teenage pregnancies, about how to talk to your kids about it, about how to handle the situation after it happens. Like, he didn't even know what protection was. And I was like, what if you would have contracted something? Because some kids are born with being positive, and their parents don't tell them. They just give them these pills, and they keep taking pills. They do not know what they are for. And so what if, because there are so many things, like when that grown-ass woman came to sleep with him, he wasn't even healed. What if she had something? Because she was asking for money for P2, or asking for P2, meaning she was ready to sleep with a kid without protection. Like, honestly. So that conversation needs to be had, and I think it needs to be given in schools. As I said before, the way they take girls and teach them about pads and how to use them and blah blah blah, they should also take boys and teach them how to be careful. Actually, the same conversation, because they talk to girls about being careful, taking care of themselves, cleaning themselves. They should also teach boys about the same things, about periods, about being careful, about pregnancies, about how being safe, and all of these things. And I'm glad that this show at least try to talk about that. If you show a kid this, they can know. You can show them this movie, Kutu, and then try to explain to them about sex and teen pregnancies and all of that, if you want to find a way to start talking to them about it. So yeah, that I think is what I learned from this. Like, you can show it to teenagers, and then you have the conversation. The other show that I've said before was very good at teaching this was Sugar, MTV Sugar. That is another show that you can show teenagers and then be like, okay, let's have this conversation. You as a parent should be open enough to talk to your kid about these things, because they happen. And again, as I said, if you have had children out of wedlock, make sure they all meet. If you're spreading your seed joyfully, please make sure that all those seeds, wherever you have spread them, the outcome, they know each other, they meet each other. Okay? So that we avoid such issues, because again, what is she supposed to do with her brother's kid? Like, yo. And the way the abortion laws in Kenya are just getting crazier and crazier. There's a story of a teenage girl. I don't want to get into it, but yeah, the case was in court and stuff, but I don't want to get into it because it's just sad and very, very annoying towards the people who failed her. So I don't want to get into it. I don't want to start crying right now. I'm being so emotional. I need to finish this. So yeah, go and watch it. It had a good music at the end by Wetanda Willie. I think it's Tazama or something. Go and listen to it and watch the movie. It's on YouTube. It's not on Netflix. So do not go and looking for it on Netflix. Go to YouTube and type Kutu, a fight against teen pregnancies in Kenya. And you'll find it, you'll watch it, and best believe you'll like it. It's a very short one. You can watch it with the whole family, especially your teenagers, as I said, as a gateway to having the sex conversation. And yeah, come to the comment section and tell me what you think about it. Tell me if you agree or if you do not, that it's a good movie. I'm going to give it because it's educational, I'll give it a 8 out of 10. They could have done more, I'm sure, but because it's educational, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Okay. Yeah, so make sure to go and watch it. Come back and tell me if you agree with me or not. Tell me in the comment section, please. I saw that you have moved from 46 to 47 finally, but growing very, very slowly. Follow me on Instagram and on TikTok, Mimi's Musings Podcast. Then come back here. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so that whenever I upload something new, you're going to be announced the